once again, I'd like to thank every one of y'all for coming. It shows great support in the community for what you want to do to make your community safe. What I'm going to do to start off tonight is once again, I'm Josh Simpson. This is Chad McCall. On the back table, we've put our business cards out, and on that business card it has our cell phone number. That's our city cell phone, and that's a 24/7 number. You can call that at any time, and we can discuss whatever issue you have, and that is on our cards. If we run out of cards, just let us know and we'll get you one. We have plenty. But when we do our community watches and start that, we always give that card out and tell people it's 24/7. If we don't answer the phone, that means we're off duty, because usually when we're off duty we turn that phone off. But immediately when we get back on duty, we'll get to you back on our next day on duty. First, I just want to explain to you kind of how the West District works and how a district in the city of Asheville works. What happens is you have 8 officers. On a perfect night, you'll have 8 officers working the whole West District, which, like you said, goes from the French Broad River all the way down to the Inca Candle Red Light, across over to the Biltmore Square Mall, and back down Brevard Road up to Haywood Road, and coming down Amboy Road is kind of essentially the West District. Well, you get 8 officers, but that's on a perfect night. You get into the summer months, you may have vacation, so you're allowed 2 officers off a night. So that's down to 6, and then all of a sudden somebody calls in sick, you're down to 5. So you've got 5 officers working, and we prioritize calls. So you get a hot call, or what we call a priority 1 call, which could be something that would require 2 officers for the safety of both officers. So now you're down to 4 officers working. You get 2 of those calls, you're down to just 2 officers working that are free to handle calls or be 10-8 roving the district. So now you're down to 2 officers covering that whole district, depending on what night it is. And of course, you would know that weekends are busier nights than others. But that's just a basic, brief overview of how a district works. So sometimes when we first do these meetings, they're like, well, why does it take an officer sometimes a little bit longer to respond? Well, sometimes they are just clearing a call, maybe from over on the other side down Patton Avenue, we're coming back this way, because they're the only officer free when they clear. So that's sometimes why there may be a delay, or it's a little bit longer, or we prioritize calls based on the necessity, such as a shooting. If we have a shots fired call, that would be priority 1 based on a barking dog, just for example. So that's going to get the assistance or the APD response before the barking dog in your neighborhood, if we're all tied up. But what me and Chad do on a daily basis is we go out and work with communities. And what we do is we set up community watches. And what we come in and we sit down, we organize, and we do meetings. And a lot of people ask, well, why is that important? The big reason that's important is because you have face-to-face contact with us on a monthly basis. We come out, we share crime analysis, and what we do with that is Ed Eads, our crime analyst, puts together all the crime that's happening in our district. And what he does is he says, you had this many of each thing, and we can see it on a rise or not. And then what we do with those officers is we disseminate that to officers. We sit down with our lieutenant, me and Chad, and we also go to ComStat and kind of report. ComStat is where we report that crime analysis, what we're doing to take care of the crime problems in our area. And we meet weekly, monthly, twice a month with the chief of police and kind of report back to him on what we're doing to make sure we're addressing our high crime areas in our districts. So what we'll do is we'll sit down, go over all that crime analysis, and then we put together what we call an ops plan, or DPs, directed patrols. And then we'll disseminate that to officers. When we disseminate that to officers, they will move when they are free and they are not answering calls, they will be in those areas checking the different locations, doing directed patrols. There's different ways we do directed patrols, and they will do those in those areas to make sure that they are trying to catch or prevent crime from happening in that area. So we disseminate that to them on about a bi-weekly basis on where crime's been happening. Just like with the home invasions, once those started to happen, we disseminated that to patrol officers, and patrol officers began to spend time patrolling those areas once they're not on a call for service. But the other thing is when we're meeting with you monthly, we give you that information. We talk to you about the crime analysis we're getting. We'll tell you what's happening in your community. We give you safety tips on how to make sure that you can make your home a hard target. We come in and we'll tell you, be looking out for this. These are things that you need to look for. These are the things that are going on in your community. We're looking for this vehicle. If you see it, please call me. The other thing is you're the eyes and ears of our community. We can't be everywhere at every time, but there's going to be a night that somebody drives by and you write that tag number down, and it's that tag number that's been doing home invasions, or that tag number that's been breaking and entering. On Virginia Avenue, me and Chad worked a thing for about 4 months last year, kept breaking in. And what we did is it was finally one neighbor who called and said, I think I know who it is. We set up a sting and we're able to bring it to an end. So it's always usually a neighbor who gives us the information, or someone involved in that community who knows that community. You know your community. You know what's going on. You know who's supposed to be in there, who's not. You know what's out of place. You have that feel for your community and your area. I heard you are dividing up into zones. So each one of you are going to be experts on your zone, an expert on your neighborhood. So you can call us and say, hey, this just isn't in place. Or at the monthly meeting, say, Josh, I've seen this truck come through 3 or 4 times this month. It's never here. Comes through on this day, and there's just something wrong with it. Here's the tag number. So those are things that when we give to our officers that we're doing directed patrol, they can be looking for to make vehicle stops and to get information to pass to detectives to make sure that we can bring this to an end. The other thing we'll do is we'll come out and do a security survey. We can do it for your neighborhood. What we do is we walk through your neighborhood and we do a security survey. And we look at things you can do to improve the safety for your neighborhood. We look at lighting, shrubbery. It's basically crime prevention through environmental design. We come out and make sure that your environmental design is good. Your lighting on your home, is your shrubbery too high? Do you need to cut some stuff back? Well, we can come out and do that on a one-on-one basis for your home or for your neighborhood. So those are just some of the things that we offer as a community watch and that we do on a daily basis.
Any questions of these folks here? Anybody have any cards or anything? We're trying to get on cards, but I don't have any questions about what you. I'm sorry.
You can't be heard over the fans.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions about what he just went over with a card you can pass in? No? Because I don't have anything about what he just talked about the general stuff. You want to go to the more specific type stuff right now? You want to move along? There you go.
I won't talk as long as Josh, but like he said, I'm Chad McCall. I'll keep it short and sweet. Yeah. But like he said, my card is at the back of the room. You guys should feel really proud of yourselves for having this many people show up. Me and Josh do this. It's what we love to do. So when we see this many people out here, it makes us feel good because it's not every day we go to community meetings and see this many people. A lot of times we go to community meetings and the person who's putting on the meeting and maybe one other person's there. So it really shows a lot and how much we can do, the police department, you guys, if we all work together. So congratulations for the turnout. And like he said, my card's back there. Call the cell phone. There's an office number there, but I'll go ahead and tell everybody, me and Josh, we're out on the roads. So call the cell phone number, and like he said, if we're working, we'll answer it. If not, then leave a message. As soon as we get back to work, we'll call you straight back. So it's good to see everybody here, and if you have any questions, you see me around town, please stop me, and I'll do what I can for you. Thank you.